Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Hooksa here, coming at you with a quick video. Hey, this video is talking about spiritual beliefs. In my view, that spiritual beliefs are like a tool that you have in your toolbox. If you guys are anything like me, you're not like Dorothy clicking your heels together, thinking like this. There's no place like home. It's a wonderful life. Blah blah blah. Now, if you're anything like me, you realize that we live in a fallen world, and there's a lot of evil. One side note: I tend to cuss when I get excited about something. So if you're offended by profanity, you might not want to watch this video. But anyways, going back to the original thing, if you're anything like me, you realize this is a fallen world, and you got a lot of evil shit in this world. You got like bad situations in this world. Life is hard. I like this one saying. It says that life is hard, life is beautiful at the same time. This one saying is like life is like a cold and broken hallelujah chorus. I mean, it's beautiful. I love my life. I'm grateful for my life, but at the same time, it's hard. You got a lot of hard shit that we got to get over. Hey, part of that hardness, one thing that the Air Force taught me when I went through this thing called Comprehensive Airman Fitness, they had called CAF, resiliency training, the ability to bounce back in the face of adversity. One of the tools that they have in that Air Force toolbox that they taught us a long time ago, it's kind of crazy. They don't teach it no more. Holy shit. Just think if they taught kids. I was, thinking the other day, if they could taught kids these skill set that the Air Force taught me, as far as resiliency, we'd be in a whole nother world. But anyways, Air Force taught me this tool about spiritual resilience. And it says no matter who you are, either the freaking atheist or the, Christ follower, Islam, everybody has spiritual beliefs. Everybody. Spiritual beliefs are just about, the sense of knowing who we are and what we decided our purpose is. What is our purpose? Hey, this sums it up in a really quick, quote, quick and deep. General George S. Patton, Army general, whatever, 5-star, 4-star, I don't know what the fuck. But anyways, the reporter asked him, when you die, what do you want to be known for? Thought about it for a sec. Then he says, I want to be known as a good soldier that loved his family and served his country. Now, if you were, tracking that, that's pretty freaking deep. Who was he? First part, who are you? A good soldier. What do you do? Love your family, serve your country. That was his spiritual beliefs. So no matter who you are, even the person that has no view of God, you got spiritual beliefs. And if you're wise, you realize that's another tool in your toolbox of resilience. If you're wise, you'll put a freaking tool in there and you'll examine that tool and make sure it's good to go. Because guess what? Life is not easy. Life is hard. And if you are any way akin with reality, you realize that in order to combat that kind of life, nobody is coming to your rescue. You got to be ready to self-rescue. Nobody's coming to help you. So you got to realize you got to have your toolbox full of tools that's going to enable you to keep going in the face of adversity. Spiritual resilience is one of those. When considering spiritual beliefs, I think that many people ask the wrong questions. A lot of people want to prove, that they're right and other people are wrong, blah, blah, blah. Even though I believe that I am right, in my spiritual beliefs, I believe that there is no other, there is only one path to God. That's my beliefs. But that's not the question I'm really giving a fuck about. The thing I want to know is, do my spiritual beliefs give me peace and do they give me freaking strength? Do they give me peace and do they give me strength to what? Encounter the daily stresses of life? And do they give me peace and strength when shit goes sideways? And check this out. A lot of people may say they have beliefs, but yet you look at their actions. Let's say, for instance, a churchgoer. You look at their actions outside of Sunday. You can't tell that motherfucker has any kind of spiritual beliefs because he's just like the rest of the world, So I'm like, do you really have spiritual beliefs, or is that tool that you claim is in your toolbox is fucking made out of balsa wood, a wrench made out of balsa wood? It's not really strong. It's not really mature. So on that subject, and I think it's very, helpful for us to realize that the question we need to ask in this: does your tool work? Does that dog hunt? Is your tool effective? And if it's not, you got to realize either one, you got a faulty tool, or two, you don't know how to use it, kind of thing. So again, I give a fuck less if I'm right compared to other people with their spirit. I don't give a fuck, but I care about, do my tools work? So anybody, coming at me with tools, as far as spirituality, I'm not going to be looking at trying to, dot the I's, cross the T's, seeing if there's any truth to the, like a fucking, fucking pocket protector nerd. Oh, let me put, ABCs together, see if, if there's any historical precedence. Yeah, for my beliefs that there is historical precedence, but that's not what I'm caring about. I'm caring about, do they work? When I say work, give me peace, give me strength. Let me go down this real quickly for maybe one or two of you that this is going to make sense for. When you check out, if you determine that one, you got faulty tools, or two, you don't know how to use them, you want to follow 2 steps. You want to check your tools, and then you want to put in work. If you determine your tools are good, you want to put in work to get to understand your tools. First thing, when it comes to my tools, they got my toolbox. It's kind of like a craftsman wrench. I'm not just going to put any spiritual beliefs in my toolbox. I want something just like a craftsman wrench. I want something with history. Something that's been around a long time, and not just going to make something up. Like, oh, this is what I believe. And just, I pull that fucking shit out of thin air. I want something that with history, like a craftsman's tool. Long history of making good, solid tools. So that's what I'm selecting. To be honest with you, I personally need something with the track record. So you won't see me picking some kind of fucking, just some kind of pink-haired fucking, purple hair. This is just what I believe. What if God was one of us? All this fucking bullshit. I'm going to be picking one of the major religions, to be honest with you. I'm going to pick Islam. I'm going to pick Christianity, Judaism. Any others? I don't know. You got some folks in Odinism. I'm not sure what the history of that is, but my religious belief has to have a history. It's not going to be something that I just made up. Also, when it comes to the one I select, it's got to have history, and it's got to have social proof, meaning thousands of people have said that, yep, that is the best. Like thousands of people have said, Craftsman, that's some of your best tools. I want social proof. So whatever my spiritual beliefs are, again, it's not going to be something I made up. I'm going to be looking out to see what has history and what has social proof, and that's what I'm going to select. Say, for instance, you have that. Your spiritual beliefs have history, been around a long time. You didn't just make them up. It's not some kind of woo-hoo kind of stupid ass shit. It's something that has history, a documented history. Say, for instance, also, you have millions of people that swear by your beliefs, saying, yeah, your beliefs are true. Okay, that sounds like a good one I'm going to select. Now, if you already have that and you're still thinking, you know what, it still doesn't work for me. It still doesn't give me peace. It still doesn't give me strength. Maybe you're using it incorrectly. So what I mean by that is those priests, then you got to get to the point of, if I got a solid beliefs, not just some made up bullshit, and it's still not working, man, I got to make sure I know how to use it. Same way, if you were to have a craftsman wrench, you need to know how to turn that wrench, how to adjust the jaws on it, how to put that thing into work so you won't bust your knuckles, And that only comes by working it, put it into daily practice, working. The more you become familiar with that tool, the better that tool is going to perform for you. The better that tool is going to work. So when it comes to your, beliefs, some people even look at the subject of sin, and their motivation for not sinning is because, God's going to be disappointed in them because, I'm not being a good Christian. But you know what, to be honest with you, choosing to purposely walk into sin, that's like taking that craftsman wrench. You got a fucking good wrench and just leaving it in the rain. Oh yeah, it's no big deal. And letting it get all rusty. Guess what? It's not going to be as effective. For what? Giving you peace and strength. So the motivation behind sin, my personal belief, man, where I'm at right now is because I want that tool to be effective. I want more peace and I want more strength in my life. Guess what? Without spiritual beliefs, I got peace. I could have strength. But guess what? You add spiritual beliefs onto it, I get more peace, more strength. I'm no dummy. I'm going to choose to have more of those two things. Because those two things, I think, lead to daily basis living a happier life. So anyways, when you're exercising that tool, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, hopefully, if it's something with a track record, you got precepts, things to not do, quote unquote, sin, and things to do, as far as, be kind to your neighbor, don't rob, don't steal, don't covet your neighbor's wife, that kind of thing. So all those kind of actions are using that tool, working that wrench. Guess what? The more familiar you become with that wrench of, spirituality, spiritual resilience, the more you become familiar with it. I mean, even the stuff you allow to listen to, the music you listen to, the movies you watch, all that kind of thing. Some people say, oh, I feel guilty if I watch it. No, motherfucker, you're acting like a stupid motherfucker when you watch that shit. Because you're making your tool less useful. It's not so much a guilt. Oh, people watch me watch this. Oh, no, dumbass. You need to wake the fuck up. Again, my language. You need to wake the fuck up. Because when you do those things that your spiritual faith tell you not to do, you're making your wrench rusty. When you don't do the things you're supposed to do, you're making your wrench rusty, putting dirt on that motherfucker. You ain't keeping it clean. And guess what? That's only going to fucking hurt you. It's going to give you less peace and less strength. Last but not least, you want to constantly keep it in front of you, your spiritual beliefs. Your spiritual beliefs, who you are and what your purpose is, what you've decided to make your purpose. You want to have spiritual reminders. What I mean by that, you see, I have some people that wear a cross on their neck. Some people, got a tattoo or whatever. Make sure you have things all around in your world that remind you of what your spiritual beliefs are. It's called spiritual reminders. Who you are and what you're about. Do something to remember that, so on a daily basis you aren't leaving your wrench out in the rain. You're doing what you need to do. On a daily basis, you aren't letting it get all filled up with dirt and rust and not cleaning it off. No, you're keeping that tool sharp. Again, the motivation for that is not because of guilt. Oh, I feel guilty because people looking at me, I'm such a bad example. No, fuck that. We do that. We maintain those things because we want that tool to be effective. We want to have more peace than we already have. We want to have more strength than we already have, mental strength, so on and so forth. So me, I'm no dummy. I've seen this one scene that sticks with me forever. The original Conan movie. Conan the Barbarian was sitting down with that little Oriental other warrior. I think he was a thief or whatever. But they were around the campfire after Conan rescued him. But they were having a discussion about whose god was better. They were arguing about the god points, And the reason that's always stuck with me is not so much arguing who's better, because I think that's a waste of fucking time. You need to be worrying about, does your shit work? Does that dog hunt? No, what really stuck with me is two warriors. How a warrior, if he's wise, a warrior is strong, he's going to have a belief in higher power, to be honest with you, a belief in God. Because guess what? When shit goes sideways, life's on the line, who's going to be stronger? That one that is fearful of leaving this world, or that one is like, I'm going to give it everything I got, and if I die, oh well, my God's got me. I'll be in his presence when this thing's all over. Who's going to be stronger on the battlefield, So I think a warrior should have that. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. But anyways, I would encourage you. Check this out too. I wonder, where did that trend of rejecting spirituality and specifically rejecting religion come from? Man, I think that's part of that woke ideology. That woke ideology that says, you can't tell me what's right. This is my truth. Who are you to tell me your truth? That's that fucking bullshit there. And I think that's that fucking bullshit where they have taught this generations nowadays, even men, to emote more out of feelings as opposed to worrying about what the fuck worked. So reject that woke shit about you determine your truth and everybody is free and everybody creates their own little fancy things as I'm a girl. I got a vagina even though I got a fucking dick, But reject that shit, man. Go back to the old ways, the ways that work. Strength. All right, peace out, guys. Develop your spiritual resilience. Serve your king. Peace out. Hooksy.